Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Today I wanted to go ahead and just cover this video by More Than Tracy T. I have been interested in dating while plus size content. I don't know why. I think part of it is because I want to start looking at that type of thing once I've switched over to YouTube completely and I don't have to have two jobs anymore. So maybe I just want to prepare myself, or maybe I want to be messy. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and look at this. This is actually More Than Tracy T, but she's responding or stitching this person's content. So let's go ahead and listen, and I want to see what I have to say to her. So let's go.
Dating as a bigger girl is hard, and it's even harder to explain to people because you really don't get it unless...
Something that I don't think people understand about being fat is the ways in which this shows up in dating. Because I get a lot of comments here from incel, dude, bro, gym, basement dwelling, whatever. You know the type, trolls. And they're always like, well, no one would ever have sex with you. No one would ever date you. And that's...
No, that's not true. I think a lot of times, especially women, but even in the gay world too, it depends. It's not so much that you can't get anybody, it's that you can't get who you want. So that can be more so the issue. Or it's that kind of thing, which that's kind of more of a femcel thing, where it's I want this hot guy and this hot guy doesn't want me kind of thing. Not that you can't get anybody. That's not typically the case.
And that's not quite true. It's more like you're just very aware that your options are limited, or that the ways in which you get approached are limited, or that the things that are available to you more readily are limited. And I've been in a relationship...
That last statement doesn't make sense, but okay.
For 4 years.
Oh, the things that are available to you. Okay. It took me a minute. I was like, what? She kind of just repeated herself. So I would say this, I guess, as a little bit of a comfort, but unless if you're trying to sleep with everybody, it's not that big of a deal if not everybody is available to you. To me, the only thing that matters is if the person I want to be with is available to me, if that makes sense. If I'm interested in somebody, I care if they are interested in me. And that's about it. I don't look at it as society or everybody or all this stuff. I'm more concerned with that. If I like you, I'm going to be concerned on if you like me. But otherwise, I don't care at all.
But I still experience a lot of this because you can just feel that you are not seen as valuable in the dating space. I know people...
If you have a boyfriend, that's a really weird thing to say, unless if you're trying to find somebody else. So I don't know. That's odd to me. It's an odd statement. That's all I can say. You're good enough in a sense because you have a relationship. So it's it doesn't make that much sense to me to view it that way in the first place, to be continuously comparing yourself in the dating market when you're already in a relationship. It's just a weird thought to me. I feel like it's a weird thought process, honestly. Now, if there's issues in the relationship, then that I could understand. But if you're totally happy, I don't know that you would be doing that. That's weird.
People say marketplace and that feels dehumanizing, but to a point it's true. More than anything, what it is an awareness that your stock is low, and that a lot of women have a power in having higher stock, I guess, that they can use to, get things for free or get men to do things for them. I am aware of that.
Is that really the standard? That's what we're going based on? Is what you can get a guy to do for you, a guy that you're not interested in? I mean, this is ridiculously shallow. I just want to say, I think she's incredibly shallow to be saying that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get too nasty or too this or too that, but I just think that that's really shallow. And if that's the standard we're basing things on, like, doesn't that say something about you if you want to get something from a guy that you're literally not interested in? That's messed up.
And even as somebody who is in a relationship, I am not looking for love. I have love. I am not necessarily looking for any of those other things either. I'm just aware that they're not available to me and that that is one way in which my body does limit me. And I think when you're a smaller fat person, you may be...
Is this like shading her relationship a little bit, or am I reading too much into that? Because I feel like it is kind of... I don't know. Because, like, if she really feels that way, what does she feel about her boyfriend then? Like, this is going to sound really extra and really bombastic and, like, super just crazy. But whatever. I'm going to be one of those people that uses my astrology as an excuse, and I'm a Leo. And what I'm going to say is, I feel like, to a certain extent at least, I am the shit when it comes to dating. I feel like I have high standards. I feel like I am a high standard. I feel like I'm something that guys need to compete for. That's just a natural feeling that I have. I'm not saying that every single man finds me attractive. I'm not saying that, straight people find me attractive. Not that I'd even care about that at all, because what does it matter? I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that there are guys that find me attractive, and I feel like I'm looking and looking and looking most of the time for what I like. And then if I find what I like, it's like most of the dynamics I've had with guys, like, they want to impress me, or they're very like, I don't know, like, they're kind of more on the nurturing side in a way, more alpha, more career oriented. I like those types. Like, there's this very specific type of guy that I like, more logical than emotional. And it's like, they have to, in a sense, prove themselves to me. I don't think of things in terms of like, I'm going to be competing with everybody in the whole world, or everybody in the whole world is competing to get me. Like, no, I'm not interested in everybody. But it's like, I would never go into a dynamic and be like, hey, you're my boyfriend. That means that you're trash. It's like, no, I don't view myself as trash. I don't. I do feel like there are times when the world wants me to feel like trash, but I think that we just live in like a takedown culture in general. And so I think a lot of people want other people to feel like trash, even if they're not. But to me, it's like, I don't view myself that way. Like, if you are the object, oh my God, if you are the apple of my eye, if you are the guy that I'm in love with, or if you're the guy that I really like, there's something special about you, because I don't like everybody. And so it's like, I don't know. I just view it that way. I view it as like, if I'm into you, the stars kind of aligned in a sense. And I think if you're also into me, then they definitely mega aligned, or there's something special about that. So it's like, why would I act like it's just trash and who cares? And I know I'm worthless in the dating market. It's like, no. Like, I know that my body is not it. I know. But I have a lot of other stuff going on. And I think it's like, you have to kind of look at what you have to offer, I guess, and have confidence in what you have to offer. And also realize, like, we're not all competing for the same guy. Like, I think that that's a stupid mindset, honestly. So I just don't like the way she's talking about this at all. And I just think she's kind of putting her guy down a little bit. Like, I just want any of my future, future relationship of mine to know, like, if you're with me, you're special. You're of a certain caliber. I would not be like just with somebody willy nilly. No. No, 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 no. And do not think I don't have options, because I do. I was the duff last year, but that's kind of over. And there was a time before I was the duff, So it's like, no, I've had options, but I don't like everybody. It's just a fact. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't like the way she said that. I don't like the way she talked about it. She's putting herself down, and then she's putting her boyfriend down. And it's just like, ew. Like, why would you talk about your relationship like that online? I just think it's really kind of weird.
Even more aware of this, because it seems weird when your size does not exclude you from...
It's like she's trying super hard to be a victim to such an extent that she will trash her relationship and her boyfriend and herself just to try to be a victim. It's like, girl, you have a relationship. You supposedly are in love with him. It's supposedly a happy and healthy relationship. Why are you not saying, hey, I found it, you could find it too? Why are you doing all this? It's cringe. It's really weird.
A lot of other things in life, that it would still exclude you from that. Like, if you can do all these things, like you can fit in airplane seats, you can travel, you can go on amusement park rides and have fun that way. Like, if you are not big enough that your size isn't preventing you from doing a lot of things, it can certainly be something that feels like a sticking place. And that has very much been my experience as a small fat person for my whole life. And I have realized as I've gotten older that, like, I actually have so much privilege in that this is the main way that it has showed up. And the weird thing is, being fat doesn't preclude you from finding love or a relationship or getting married.
She's saying that. I would say that your most approachable sizes as a fat person are going to be that super fat or the small fat. When you're in a super fat category, guys are less intimidated. They're more likely to approach. And they're more, usually more explicit, sexual, all these different things. They also assume that you're more down, which can be bad because not always. But when you're in that category, you get that sort of thing. When you're in the small fat category, then you're kind of more mainstream. So you have more proximity to a mainstream space. So I think you have a little bit more of a similar experience to being thin in dating, but not completely, because there are still going to be some people that don't want to be with you because you're fat at all, which is the case. When you're mid-fat, that's where I've found, at least in my experience, you're very forgettable and people don't look at you. And that's typically where I think a lot of people that want to hide from men or that want to hide, they tend to stick in the mid-fat range, sometimes as a psychological protection. So I've seen that too, because there is a certain level of fatness for everybody where you're going to be unnoticeable or invisible. And some people want that. I don't think it's good, but I do think that some people want that. So I guess, that's something that I've observed. But as far as like for me, I don't think I'm going to have an issue being small fat, and I'm really close. So I'm not thinking I'm going to be single that much longer after that, That's why I'm just like, yeah, I've decided I'm going to try to date once I've transitioned to YouTube completely, because I'm tired of being single, and I'm just like, yeah, I want to move forward in life. So it's like, and I feel like I'm almost there where I can get more of a quality guy, because I feel like there's a certain like boyfriend zone for me, at least. And maybe this is true for the girlies too. If you guys have experienced that too, let me know. But I feel like when you reach a certain level of fatness, you reach like the boyfriend or girlfriend zone, and you're more likely and more able to have a relationship. And I feel like last year I really wasn't in that zone at all. And so it was really tricky for me. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of just talking about how I feel, I guess, in this video.
Married, it doesn't preclude you from having good sex or like exploring sexuality, but you are still probably materially going to get approached less than your thin friends. You are still going to have the awareness that there are a lot of people out there who won't date you or won't date you openly because of your size. You are still going to witness conversations where people talk about how dating somebody who looks like you or going on a date with someone who looks like you is their worst fear, and they find it personally insulting. And that's just a lot for the ego.
I think a lot of times people feel that way if you lie. So I think people say that in terms of catfishing, they don't want you to lie about your size, because some people just don't want to be with a fat person. And I'm not like, I don't know, like I just don't think about that kind of stuff as much. Like I know it's crazy, but I don't. I really don't. I don't know if it's a function of not being super young, but it's like I'm not at a point in my life where I'm looking for somebody that has the perfect body or somebody that's this or that. Like I care about looks. I'm not going to lie and say I don't. That's not at all true. But I don't care about if a guy has like a six pack or something. It's like, because to me, I just view size and things like that as such a dynamic thing. And it's like, if a guy wanted to get in shape, he could, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, if I want to continue to get in shape, I can. Like, I just don't view it as so static. I find a lot of people view fitness as static, and it's not. Now, I understand when somebody's like morbidly obese or super morbidly obese, there is a lot of connotations of a lifestyle that a lot of people would not want to date. And so to me, that is still relevant to me too, if I'm honest. Just because like when you're really, really big, there is a connotation that you're living a certain lifestyle. So I look forward to that being gone, because that might open things up in a way that I haven't seen, or I might be taken, you know, more seriously than I've ever been taken. I might get married or something, you know? So it's like, that would be nice. You know, I don't want to be like Taylor, and I'm just kidding. That's so shady. I love Taylor, but I had to shade her a little bit. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying I do care about getting married. And it's like, like anybody else, I fear that I won't ever get there. It's really scary, and I just can't help but know that my size has been a part of the issue, not just because of how I look, but also because of how it affected me mentally. And to be free of the mental effects of obesity this year, I want to be free of that stigma soon, you know, and I think that I'm going to get there probably by the end of the year. And I think that that will really open up things and hopefully give me more legitimacy in the sense of getting married, because I want that. So that's kind of where my mindset is. I would love to hear your guys' opinions, honestly, because I'm not sure of where I'm going, you know what I mean? So I'd appreciate your guys' feedback.
Take, no matter how much other privilege you have or how many aspects of it you do still have access to. There is like such an ego wound in me from like years of this, that being in a relationship, no matter how happy and successful, like does not take that away. The older
That's so weird. It's very weird. Like I was very insecure about my weight and about if I was sexy or not, as you know, when I was younger and when I was in my early 20s and teenage years and stuff. Like when I had my toxic dynamic with my first love, I hadn't even considered that he found me attractive. Like, it was such an alien thing for me for somebody to find me attractive that I had no idea that that was what was going on. And later on, I was attractive to guys, and I got like those sexual comments and had those types of dynamics, and it was very healing for me, actually, to be seen as sexy or to be seen as attractive. And there are guys that do find you attractive. So it's like, I don't understand how being in her relationship would not heal that ego wound at least a little bit, because it did for me, very much so. Very much so. So I'm confused at that. It's weird.
The older I get, the more I realize these differences are kind of subtle and that they are like not necessarily that impactful on your material reality and like day-to-day life and happiness. But it's an ego wound and it hurts and it feels like shit. And then you're still subject to all the treatment that single people get in the world of like, why can't you find someone? And like, they're out there, just keep looking. And it feels so hopeless because you're told over and over again, and your life experiences very possibly support that you are not a desirable person to be with. But think about it this way. None of this...
Gosh, what a horrible thing to say to somebody. Jeez, I don't even know. Ugh. I mean, I feel like I'm being really real here, and it's like, I know I could find a relationship. I worry that I can't find somebody that would take me seriously enough to get married. That's what I worry about. And I can't help but think that my size is a part of that. I can't. And maybe that is not true, but that is a perception I feel, and it could be true, because I never have been taken that seriously, and that hurts, you know? So I don't know. I just don't like her telling me like, yeah, your life experiences suck, and you know, I totally get why you feel that hopeless. It's like, gosh, girl, like, geez, you know, walk a mile in my shoes over the past year. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, ugh. I did not like that.
This would be a big deal if we didn't think about conventional attractiveness and desirability as being so central to a person's value, that like women literally measure their value off of that.
It's not helpful. This is unhelpful.
And feeling like you don't have the thing that's like the number one source of value and power for women, it feels terrible. I do think in the grand scheme of things, it's not as big a deal as other forms of discrimination, but it feels so uniquely terrible because you...
Whoa. I feel like my internet is done. Hold on. Okay, she just said, you're also failing at your gender. I love how my internet was like, biatch, shut it. And it just like turned off. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to relate to the failing at the gender and all that as much. I think it's sometimes you just feel like you're failing as a human, you know? It's like, I think it's a little bit different. But I think there's a lot of really bad advice in terms of like how to deal with being single. But I just know for me, I want things to be more serious in the future. And it's like, it's just scary to me. I feel like it's scary in a way. It's stupid to say that, but it's like, I don't know. I find like the further I get in this journey, I just wonder like, can I handle what's in front of me? Like, will I be able to handle this? Will I be able to handle that? And it's like, so far I've been pleasantly surprised. So maybe that will continue. Who knows, right? I'm not crying. I have allergies, I promise. I had to buy an air filter today because I waited too long, and so the air quality is not the best in here. But I would just love to hear your guys' thoughts in general, your guys' experiences, and I love to hear your perspectives on this issue because I'm thinking about it a lot. And so, yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Not thank you, Abby. Abby, that was not it. I did not like it at all, Abby, for the record. As a single fat person, I was pretty disgusted with this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys again soon. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. Peace.